Rampage Jackson has responded after his son faced backlash for pushing the limits in a recent pro wrestling match. The incident has sent shockwaves through the fight world, with heated discussions even escalating to talk of potential legal consequences.
Yo, be honest with y'all, bro, I don't see how he doesn't go to jail. I like Rampage Jackson, you guys know, I think Rampage is awesome. But after looking at that footage, bro, like, they need to get a lawyer. Like, me just being dead ass. Like, he needs to get a good lawyer right now and be prepared. They're 100% going to come in and arrest him for that. I don't know what they're going to charge him with, but slamming him with the way that he did and punching him that many times, he needs to find a lawyer. He needs to, I don't even know why they're still on camera talking about it, to be honest with y'all. He should stay off camera. They shouldn't talk about this shit ever again. And secure a lawyer or just sit tight. Because the police are absolutely coming. There's no way they're not going to make an arrest after that, bro. There's no way. There's probably an insane amount of pressure on the local cops to do something. And that obviously wasn't in the scripted, wrestling event. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just don't see a scenario where he doesn't get arrested, bro. I just don't see it. Because the police department is going to be under an insane amount of pressure to do something because it's so viral now. It's so viral. They have to do something. I hope the guy's all right. I hope he's not like seriously injured. That's because that could really create some issues too. If he's like seriously injured. So we'll see what happens. You know, you guys know I like Rampage. I don't know his son, but praying for the best for everybody involved.
What started as a scripted moment inside the ring quickly spiraled out of control. During a live-streamed wrestling event, Rampage's son Raja was part of a skit where another performer playfully smashed a prop can over his head. At first, it looked like typical wrestling theatrics, nothing out of the ordinary. But things took a shocking turn later that night, when Raja returned to the ring for what was meant to be another staged segment. He went off script, slamming his opponent to the mat with real force. The impact left the wrestler unconscious, and instead of stopping, Raja mounted him and delivered a series of heavy punches to the jaw. The disturbing footage spread online almost instantly, leaving fans stunned. The MMA community has erupted with outrage, with some voices suggesting Raja crossed a dangerous line by turning performance into a real fight.
MMA legend Rampage Jackson has a son called Rampage Jackson, and what I'm about to show you, in my opinion, is blatantly attempted murder. And I believe that Rampage Jackson should go to jail for a very long time. I'm not talking about months. I'm not talking about a couple of years. I'm talking 30 to 40 years at least for what I consider to be blatant attempted murder from Rampage Jackson. I think that Rampage Jackson, and what I'm going to show you in today's video, is going to show you everything, okay? I have every moment, every bit of context, every single thing that happened in order, okay? Even some other moments here that I'm going to show you that a lot of people haven't even seen yet about this whole situation because everyone's only reacting to this. End of discussion. You are a dumb animal that does not belong in society. You have forfeited that right because you have proven yourself as an unevolved human. Go sit in a cage for 30 to 40 years where you fucking belong, you dumb animal. End of discussion. That is attempted murder. I am going to give you context for this whole situation, but Rampage Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, is a dumb, unevolved animal with no understanding of thought process of anything, and he belongs in a fucking cage for the rest of I don't know how long, the next few decades at least. In my opinion, this is attempted murder, okay? We're going to go through the context of this, which we don't even need to go through, regardless what happened, unless this guy over his shoulder just did that to him. There is no excuse for this behavior. Unless this guy over his shoulder just did exactly that to someone Rampage Jackson knows or loves, or someone who is Rampage Jackson, unless this guy did it to Rampage Jackson before Raja did this back to him, there is zero excuse. Zero excuse.
Observers were quick to highlight that Raja kept striking even after his opponent was clearly unresponsive. For many fans, this went far beyond an accident or heat-of-the-moment slip. It was seen as crossing the line into unnecessary violence.
It may have hurt as much as a little bouncy ball bouncing off the side of his head. There is no impact on that. He smashed a fake can of drink full of vapor and air on Raja's head. It's a wrestling gimmick. It's like getting hit with a fake glass bottle. So this guy is a wrestler that thinks Raja is in on the bit. Just like how Randy Orton, if he knew I Show Speed was coming to a WWE event or wherever he's wrestling at now, I don't know how it works, would maybe start a little interaction with Speed and hit him with a fake glass bottle. That's what this guy thinks he's doing. And you know what? I Show Speed would fucking roll with it because he's not a dumb animal that belongs in a cage. Okay? I Show Speed would fucking roll with it and he wouldn't attempt to murder him later in that stream. Then listen to what happens. After he says he's not a worker, bro, calm down.
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that?
You're good. I think the guy's regretting, like, oh shit, this guy didn't know this was going down. Starts grabbing him a bit.
You gonna sell it? Yeah.
You gonna sell it? That's what he said. Are you gonna sell it? Are we gonna make this happen? Are we gonna make a bit out of this? You gonna sell it? Selling in WWE or in professional wrestling is when someone gets hit by a fake move. It's all fake.
Gonna come out on your mat, Juice. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I know you keep thinking we're working, but we're always working.
I get it. Yeah.
I get it, Raja says again, after they've apologized and calmed down.
Rampage Jackson has now been forced to speak out. The MMA legend is standing by his son, insisting Raja was provoked, believed the moment was part of the performance, and wasn't in the right frame of mind after dealing with a recent concussion. Rampage argued that his son was pushed into a situation that never should have happened, and that he's unfairly being portrayed as a villain in a far more complex scenario. Still, the wider combat sports community isn't convinced. Fans, analysts, and wrestling insiders alike maintain that no explanation can excuse repeatedly striking someone who was already unconscious, or going that far off script in what was meant to be entertainment.
Rampage Jackson has responded to this, and this is where my anger comes from. Now, Rampage, of course, is going to very legally be delicate here. This is Rampage Jackson's response. I want to clear up the misinformation about my son Raja. There's none, it's on video, we all saw it. I've been confirmed that the wrestler, Stuart Smith aka Psycho Stu, is awake and stable. Raja was unexpectedly hit in the side of the head by him moments before Smith's match. Raja was told that he could get his payback in the ring. This is not what they fucking meant, Rampage, and you obviously know that. But he doesn't want his son doing 40 years in jail. I thought it was a part of the show. Maybe shutting the fuck up right now would be a better option than this dumb shit. It was a bad judgment and a work that went wrong. I don't condone my son's actions at all. He suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago. He got mildly wobbled, not even dropped, by a half-power spinning kick. Should not have been throwing spinning kicks in sparring. He was mildly wobbled. No excuse for this at all.
To take a defense in a court from a legal proceeding. The police have not arrested him. But we already know what happened and we've got it on video. And it's gross. And it is an assault. And it is outside of what was agreed upon in pro wrestling. And so many people have made this mistake in sport before, thinking, well, it's up to the referee. You know, whatever the referee says, but this was all part of sport. Like there is a piece of human psychology that works like that, but you have a police department that is in possession of this information and has not done an arrest. Why? Well, if Stu comes out and says this was all part of the spot, if he just says those words, no matter how much you're reworking reality and history, if he says those words, the police then look like fools. If Stu doesn't say those words and say, hey, this was not scripted, as a matter of fact, he's even given a confession. He's saying that he's doing this for retribution for something else that I did. You have a legal right to defend yourself. That's true. But there's a sustainable difference between defense and vengeance. And one of them is instantaneous and one of them is premeditated. So the police are in possession of a video which is highly against the law unless Stu comes out as a performer and says this was agreed upon. And you have no idea how far Stu would take that. Stu is clearly unconscious. In real life, he's unconscious. But is he going to come out and say that?
Many are calling this one of the darkest moments ever seen in combat sports entertainment. Speculation is now swirling that Raja could be facing real legal consequences, and the entire event has been left under a cloud of controversy. Was this a case of uncontrollable rage? Did he cross a line that can't be walked back? Or was it simply a young man losing control in the heat of the moment? Opinions remain divided, but the fallout could impact his life permanently. Rampage Jackson himself appears devastated, torn between protecting his son and acknowledging the seriousness of what unfolded. Fans have even resurfaced an old comment Rampage once made, half joking, that he should save for his son's bail instead of college tuition. What was once said in humor now feels chillingly prophetic. The fighting world is watching closely. Wrestling organizations have condemned the incident, fans are demanding accountability, and MMA voices are questioning whether Raja should ever be allowed inside a ring again. And the most shocking part? It all began with something as trivial as a staged can smash. The big question now, will this lead to prison time? Was this just a reckless mistake, or a glimpse of something far more disturbing?